On Don Garlett's face may have meant he knew what was coming. Shirley Muldowney, near lane, whipped the guy they call Big Daddy on this Florida afternoon en route to one of her 3 world championships. Her 1982 crown, well, earned Shirley the honors as Motorweek Racer of the Year, but then a horrendous crash in Canada left her with serious injuries that cast grave doubts on her future as a racer. And I know it's no fun to look at those pictures again, Shirley Muldowney, but it's great fun to have you back because indeed you have come back, and now, wonder of wonders, you have Don Garlett as a member of your crew. Tell me the story. What happened?
Lucky me. It wasn't my idea. It was my husband's idea. We wanted some direction. We needed a little bit of a boost. We weren't losing anything, but we certainly weren't gaining anything out there. So we thought if we're going to shoot for the best, we better go for the best. And we put a call into him. He accepted without even knowing the finer points of the contract. But he said, yes, I'm in.
That means that relationship has come a long, long way. I have to ask you if all the horror stories, all the terrible things that Don Garlett is reputed to have said about you when you became the first woman top fuel racer are true.
And that I have said about him?
Well,
they're all true. All the stories are true. We were nose to nose in the early days and in the 70s when we match raced, and it was the man against the woman and vice versa, and this ladies' liberation and all of that, but it still brought people in the gate.
Sure.
That's what we were attempting to do, aside from winning the race.
But was it real? Was there really a bitterness in that rivalry?
Of course.
Yeah.
Not bitterness, but I wasn't going to give him any slack, and he certainly didn't approve of me out there because I didn't tinker on the engines. Yeah. And it was a good rivalry. I think it was good for the sport overall.
How did it change? How did you earn his respect?
When I started whipping him. Mm-hmm. And once he was quoted as saying, she whipped me like a Texas baby, and that got a lot of press.
I got another guy I want to talk to in a minute, but I have one more quick question for you. When are you going to win another race? Are you going to win another race? Are you going to get back on top?
Well, that's what I'm shooting for, and we're looking at the Atlanta race this weekend. Great. Why not? We'll start it out on a good light. When we talk about comebacks, there's another fellow we talk about. I want to show you another piece of videotape here. I want to take you back to the days when the Snake and the Mongoose were the legend in drag racing. Don the Snake Prudhomme in the near lane versus Tom McEwen over on the far side. They filled the grandstands for something new called funny car racing, but then hard times. Prudhomme watched the sponsorship money dry up, actually sat out an entire season. A lot of folks figured, well, he'll never be back, but come back he did. I guess this bumpy ride, in a way, is appropriately symbolic of the rough road back to the top. But at the end of that journey, here we find Don Prudhomme again, the class of the class. Turned in an amazing 5:19 pass at Houston earlier this year, quickest in funny car history. And last week, for a birthday present, he picked up $35,000 as the winner of the Winston All-Stars. And Don, I got to ask you, which birthday was it?
That was number 48.
48 years old, and a guy that a lot of people had written off completely and back on top of the game. Why did you quit, and how did you come back?
Well, basically, I quit because I really, truly got tired of what I was doing. I was really burnt out at the end of '85, and I needed some time off. The sponsorship wasn't going right. My crew situation wasn't right, so I just wanted some time off. That's basically what happened.
When you decided to come back, was the fire still there?
Well, yes. Big time it was there. I rested up for a couple of months, and fortunately I got together with Skoal, U.S. Tobacco, to back the operation and race in the style I wanted to race in. And I did that, hired the right people, and put us right back on top again.
And as a result, we see the buttons that say the bandit is back. Great slogan for a great driver. The question, I guess, that comes to mind is, I know everybody gets tired of hearing about their age when they get to be 48. You said an interesting thing about the fact that you are that age and how that relates to the fans and how you deal with that question that keeps coming up. How long are you going to keep doing this?
Well, that's hard to say. When I get tired of it, I guess, and apparently I'm not tired of it, but who knows, maybe a couple more years. I really can't see myself doing this when I'm 50. But also there's fans at home, there's people that watch it on television that can really relate to it. You know, I'm 48 and they're maybe sitting on the couch, wishing they weren't sitting on the couch watching television, watching guys like myself, Shirley, Gar, people like that out there racing, and I think it's healthy.
Quickly, are you going to buy a stock car team? I hear rumors that you might follow in Raymond Beadle and Kenny Bernstein's footsteps.
I enjoy stock car racing, Grand National Stock Car, and maybe so, another year or so from now. I still have some big business to take care of in drag racing.
It's not something you can do when you're driving a car, is it?
Well, I don't think so. Bernstein does a good job with it, but I'm pretty involved with the mechanics of my car, and I like to stay pretty close to it.
Quick question for both of you. What are we going to see this weekend at the new Atlanta Dragway? Shirley?
quick times, a lot of mile an hour, and maybe some new winners out there.
Maybe a Muldowney victory again at that racetrack, Don.
How about Snake and Mark Oswald in the final?
I'll buy that. Good luck to both of you. Thank you so much for coming. Always a pleasure to have these two legends on board. We'll be back with more of Motorweek right after this.